Hello, everybody. It's Connie, and I'm live today. And I am playing with non-Stampin' Up! Things. I decided to kind of raid my stash and look for things I haven't used and play around with that a little bit and show you a special card. Anyway, here's my Christmas countdown. We're at 12 days till Christmas. Can you believe that? Oh my gosh. So this weekend, we're bumping up against that, time where you can't mail things. And so this weekend I have to finish my calendars for my in-laws and get those into the mail, or else they will not make it. So anyway, this is what I want to show today. Do you love it? Do you love it? Do you love it? It is a card. It's an expanding card. It looks very simple, right? It's just an accordion. But it does take a little bit of time. You have to have a little bit of time. And I thought, well, I have time today. And so I learned... I winged this up based on some cards that I saw at Love Pop. You know how Love Pop has all those cool cards that are all 3D? And I sort of kind of made my own, engineered my own. And then I looked online. I was just watching random videos yesterday, and there was a lady who made one of these cards like this, and she called it a balcony card. And I was like, what? Who knew this was already a thing? Of course it was already a thing. It's anyway, I want to show you how to make it, and I want to decorate my card a little bit. I didn't finish this one, and of course I'm not using all Stampin' Up! Products, so this is going to be like a more or less non-Stampin' Up! Kind of thing. But let me just show you. Okay, so first of all, the paper. Let's talk about the paper. The paper that I grabbed, I was in an event not very long ago through Scrapbooks and Cards Today. Oh my gosh, their events are wild. They are amazing. Hi, Crystal. If you need to splurge on an event, wow, those are super cool, especially if you like making cards, or, well, they have scrapbook ones too. Anyway, you get tons of product. And this paper pack was one of the products. And the problem is, after you make all their projects, you still have all this paper left over. And I looked all over the place for the packaging for this so that I could tell you what brand it is. And could I find it? No. I'm looking through my trash. No, I can't find it. It's gonna drive me crazy, but obviously it's something easily available. But This is basically a variety pack. It all kind of coordinates together, and we made the coolest project. And I'm gonna make that project again with you guys, because it was very cool, very cool. I might make it next week, but I'll use different papers. Anyway, these are the papers I'm using today, and they're the ones that I used on my card. So you can kind of see in the background, I used a stripe. Here I used is that figgy pudding or is that fruitcake? Fruitcake? I don't know. And then a little holly and some little snow globes in the background, and more of that figgy pudding, more holly, and more stripes. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces for this card that I'm making. And then on the pop out part, I used a couple of different papers. So I started cutting them down. I'm going to get this out of the way. because I don't think I'm going to need it until I get to the pop out part. The other papers that I got this year that are new, and I try very hard not to buy a lot of new paper because, oh my gosh, I want to use it up. And so I don't like having these around. But this is from Joann Fabrics, and it is the cutest retro paper I have seen, and I could not resist it. It was like 50% off, and look at that Santa in the truck, the little mugs with the gingerbread and the snow. I love the colors. The colors this year, there seemed to be a lot of the gingerbread going on, and a lot of those tealy blues, those like the greens, the minty greens, and you know, the retro style colors with the pink. Look at that. Look at that little snowman. Oh, that's so cute. I should use that paper. Anyway, and then I got the honeybee gingerbread pack because it kind of goes with that hutch that I splurged on this year. And this is two-sided, which is really nice. And it's got a lot of the same kind of icons and the same kind of colors, honestly. But that's what I picked up this year. So that was my splurge. Now the Stampin' Up! Papers, I thought about using that Snowy Winter paper again. Oh, I love it. But I did not. Stamp sets. I went through my stamp sets and I was trying to figure out something to decorate with. And I found this Lawn Fawn set. It is called Ho Ho Holidays. Ho Ho Holidays. I had only used this set one time. And so I'm like, okay, it's time to use it. I try really hard to make sure all of my stamps are well loved, and I don't want them sitting in my cabinet, just sitting there. So I cut apart my dies. I had never used my dies, and I got out my stamps, and I went ahead and stamped everything. So I'm moving these off camera. Okay, let's talk about putting this card together. Basically, you can make it any size you want, and it's accordion folded. So you just need a bunch of pages accordion folded, and you can make it as big as you want. So I wanted it big enough to use my these are close to my heart alphabets, and they're the large ones, and I wanted it big enough to say Merry Christmas. And so I needed 7 panels, so that's what I made, and I'm going to do that again because I'm basically going to make more or less the same card twice. And the little tree is actually a Stampin' Up! Die. Let me see. It's from this Decorative Trees, and it just cuts the outline of the tree, which is, look how perfect that is. It is the perfect size of tree, and I just used one of the papers in the pack to cut the tree. I thought that was really cute. So let's start there. You might also notice that this is edged in gold. Well, Steve brought home more envelopes. Can you believe that? He brought home a bunch of I cut some of the papers down already. He brought home a bunch of these beautiful gold foil looking envelopes. They're real shiny. They're kind of oh boy, I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say antique gold because they're bright, but they're really beautiful. And basically, I can't use 5 boxes of envelopes, which is what he brought home. because each box has hundreds of envelopes in it, okay? I think there are boxes of, are they boxes of 500? I can't remember. Lots. If you guys want envelopes, please let me know. If you're local, you can just pick them up. And if you want me to mail them to you, I promise to mail them cheap. Yeah, I don't know how many's in a box. Steve would know. I don't know all their printing lingo, but I have a lot. This is just one box. I've given away two full boxes already. And I have 2 more to give away. So I can't use them all. I try, but no, it's not going to happen. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my camera just a little bit while I do this part. And I just want to show you, I cut my panels. These panels are just cardstock, okay? And I cut it 8 inches by 7 inches. And my goal was to make a 5 by 7 card that would fit into this envelope. But they're so fat, they don't fit into the envelope. I made them so big, so fat that they don't fit. They size-wise, this way, they look like they would fit, but they're too fat for this envelope. So I was like, well, okay, I'll mail them with their presents or something, or hand it to them, right? Anyway, so I cut 1, 2, 3, 4 of these that are 8 by 7, and I'm just gonna fold these in half in just a second. But let me cut my envelopes down just so you can see how I do that. I just want this cool panel, and I'm gonna use it like I'm just gonna use it as a 4 by 7 panel. So I just want this cut to 4 by 7. So these are 5 1/4. So I just have to cut each side off to make it about 4 inches. And if it's a little under, that's okay, because it's okay if I have a little bit of white showing on each side, right? And then I'm gonna flip it, and these are 7 1/4. So I just need to cut a little bit off the ends. What I'm cutting is the folded part of the envelope, so that you end up with flat panels instead of folds. So there's a couple of them. See how that works? And I already trimmed down the others so that you wouldn't have to sit and watch me trim envelopes. See, so I have a little stack of gold, and then I have a little stack of my paper mats that I cut 1/4 inch smaller. And then this is all garbage. Now, if you don't want to use it as garbage, wouldn't this be clever to use to cut the words Merry Christmas, or, die cut bells, or I don't know, anything you think would work well. These envelopes are acid free, I believe. I didn't test it. I always test those, but I know this is crazy, but I have a pH testing pen from a million years ago. Let me just test one. It's staying blue. That's a good sign. So Steve told me, he tells me when they're acid free, but I don't always believe him. He's picky too, but not as picky as me. So you could use that in your scrapbook. All right, so I'm just gonna real quick put these together just so I'm not dealing with so many pieces of paper. It is really hard to have a little desk space and have just scads of paper everywhere. And so it's nice to get this part done. So what is everybody doing? Crystal, what are you doing today? I talked Steve into baking a few treats. So here's my problem. I am the neighbor who started the neighborhood cookie swap and exchange many years ago. And my neighbors are amazing and participate every year with me. I just give them a little tiny box of cookies, and I always make tons of cookies, so it's not a big deal to give them cookies. But now that I'm on Weight Watchers, I do not need cookies sitting around. It is one of my red flag foods. It's one of those things that if there's a cookie sitting there, I can't stop eating them. It has nothing to do with hunger or anything. I see them and I want them and I eat them. That's just kind of how that goes. I just can't, I have no willpower when it comes to cookies. So there you go. So I'm trying not to make too many cookies right now. I think I may have shorted myself one. Didn't I have how many panels? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I have 7? Yeah, I thought I had 7. Maybe I have an extra gold. Okay. Anyway, I talked Steve into helping me make a few cookies. See, this cold, there is a very nasty cold virus going around. And honestly, I have no reason to go out and be exposed to it. When I went to Disney, there was, I did get a virus while I was there. And it started with the sore throat, which made me think, of course, I have COVID, right? Okay, so this is that one that I cut 8 by 7, and I have several of them. And I'm just going to put this at the 4-inch mark, and I'm going to score. This Stampin' Up! Board has a cutting blade, which is black, and then a scoring blade, which is gray. So I'm just going to use the scoring blade, and you can see I can just score them. So anyway, yeah, started with a sore throat. I got a headache. I was like, oh my God, I have COVID and I'm at Disney and I'm not going to be able to go anywhere. What the heck? And then it just went away. And I've checked in with a nurse friend of mine, and she's like, oh my gosh, Connie, there's this virus going around and everybody's testing negative for COVID. And it starts just like COVID. It's like sore throat, headache, tiredness, And so I'm like, wow. So I think that's what I had. And then when I got home, a few days after I got home, I really needed a haircut. And when I went to get my haircut, my hairdresser had me look at her throat because her throat was so sore, and she was going out of the country for the holidays. And I looked at her throat. She had been on antibiotics for 10 days and it was still raging and raw feeling, and she had a headache. And I said, I think you've got a virus, man. I don't think antibiotics are going to do anything. And she's like, I'm nervous because I'm going on a plane tomorrow. I don't want to infect all those people. And I said, I would just wear a mask and, be safe, but go. Yes, Christmas cookies. What's your favorite? What's your favorite Christmas cookie? Honestly, I'm out of adhesive again. I can't believe it. I don't really have a favorite, but I would say if there's a chocolate cookie in the container, those are the ones that I really have trouble resisting. I just can't. I just walk up to them. I gotta have them. I don't know why. I see them, gotta have them. And the cookies I don't like sit there. Obviously, my family don't eat cookies like I do. my daughter and husband like sugar cookies. They're the favorites. I have to load my ATG. I had no idea it was this low. So let me just pop that in, over, under, and around. I have to say it every time so that I get it right. Over, under, and around. Anyway, so I thought, well, making sugar cookies is a no-brainer because they're cute. They're cute to give away. I can decorate them. You know, they're the classic Christmas kind of cookie. Get in there. Sorry, I'm distracted. Okay, and then that's perfect, right? It's a classic. So I'll make sugar, and I don't eat those. And then I think I'm gonna make my grandma's caramel corn that I used to make it every year, and I haven't made it for years because I had other things to do. All right, so we're gonna make our accordion. So here's what I'm doing. Here's the first. This is, remember that 8x7 that I folded in half, so it's 4 inches, and I'm gonna make them do this number. You've probably done this before. I'm gonna adhere and adhere. Now this one, oh yeah, I am a lot smaller than the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna make this one smaller apparently than the other one that I made. What's really nice though is that these can be, I feel like I need another one though. These are so beautiful. While off camera here, I'm just cutting this down to, again, 8x7. I just need one more. One more. Okay. So sorry. I want the end to go the right direction. You know what I'm saying? All right, if I don't score this, is it gonna look awful? Probably. Here's the problem when you don't score is that you get that jaggedy kind of edge. You can kind of see it's raggedy. It's not the same, but that's okay because it's gonna go back here. I'm just gonna do it like that. All right, so now while I adhere all these together, I'm just gonna start putting adhesive on. Get my adhesive going. My other classic cookie that I almost always make, I always make a chocolate chip cookie. My nieces like chocolate chip cookies, and that's just, I always try to have that for them. And they also like my sugar cookies. Now see, at Christmas, I can send those home with them and they're happy. It's the pre-Christmas chocolatey ones that they don't eat that I have trouble with. What is going on? I'm sorry. I'm obviously like having technical problems this week. Get on there. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So I think that if I make those two, for my neighbor, those two, even just sugar cookies and caramel corn, I think that'll be plenty, to give. And then we'll see. Well, I don't know. Jeez, I don't know. Let's see. Put more adhesive on. I have my thing here. I'm gonna put this one this way. The reason I'm doing it standing up like this is because it's easy to make sure the bottom is lined up, and that's the most important part. If your top is a little wonky, not perfect, that's not as big of a deal. But the bottom of the card where it's going to sit on the table, you want that to be in good shape, so that they can display it. So now that card that I have on the front photo of this craft group, with the nativity. This is exactly how I made it, really. I just cut it a little shorter. Let me grab it. It's sitting right here and I can show you that. So it looks elaborate, right? But if you just look at the basic thing, it's an accordion fold, right? There's the accordion fold, right there. I added an extra little hitch in it, an extra score, so that it would just, I don't know, be more, I don't know if it matters. I just thought it would show more on a table. And then on my card here, the pop outs I made, you know, green and white. You have to kind of tuck them in when you give the card away so they aren't sticking out, but pop them up is how you display it. And so this is basically the same kind of thing. I just did 3 pop-ups on it. And look at that. And then I was like, oh, I need to add a star. I'm not sure how to add a star. And I could have just glued it to the back of the thing, but here's what I did. I made a star on another accordion piece, and I just cut slits in it so that it would like slide into that empty space. And then there's a star rising in the east or whatever. Okay, anyway, I don't want to be too detailed on that card because that card took some time because I did a lot of embossing and stuff, you know. Okay, so now I have my accordion and it looks really good, I think. And so now I just want to take my panels and decide how I want them. I'm not really sure if I may need to cut an extra panel because I can't remember how many I cut, to be honest. Oh, look, and I have an extra. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I like that. The peppermints are cute. All right, so there's my panels, and now I just need to adhere these. Now, with these, I like to put adhesive on all of the edges because when you adhere this panel, you don't want it popping up, and you also want to make sure that you're not crossing over that score line when you lay it down. You really want to make sure you have this one up so that you're butting up against the score line. And that way your card will fold nicely without something in the way right there. You don't, it's kind of a thing. You have to be kind of careful about crossing over those fold lines with your paper or your card just will not fold properly. And so same way here, I'm kind of folding this up and butting this in, okay? And then putting it on. If it hangs out where my outer fold is, it's no big deal. But if it hangs over that inner fold, you got a problem. So anyway, so there's basically, oh, I put the wrong one on. Whatever. And so you just keep attaching just like that. Okay, so you can, I'm not going to make you watch me attach all of that. So I'm going to now kind of flip over to, I want to show you how to do the inner thing. And basically, I mean, this is really a basic thing, but you just don't want them sticking out. So you don't want them bigger than 8 inches. That's all that matters. And so if I make everything, if I make my first let's just say I want one tall and one short or something. I'm gonna take, how big is this? This is a scrap. This is 7 inches wide and it's 4 inches tall. So I could make it 4 inches tall. That seems a little tall. Let me make it 3. You can do any size you want. That's my point, really. And basically all you're doing when you're making your cool pop-up is you're folding it in half, which ideally you will score that, okay? So let me just, because it will make it a cleaner thing. So this is 7 inches, so I need this one scored in half at 3.5, right? And fold it. Okay, and so we will lay this down in here like that on the score, and then it will pop up. Now, to attach this panel though, we need a couple of little tabs, and I'm just going to make a 1/2 inch tab. So I'm going to put it a 1/2 inch over my line, and I'm going to score. And I'm going to flip it around and do the other end too. A 1/2 inch and score. It doesn't even have to be a 1/2 inch. I don't even, whatever you need to get score tape on there or something. But basically, you want a couple of tabs like that. And then all you're going to do is put adhesive here and adhesive here. And you're going to lay it flat. And you're gonna decide where you want your pop-up to be. I usually put it at the bottom. It makes the card stand better if it's at the bottom. And then I am going to make sure that this fold, it's gonna have to fold in and out both in order to fold your card. So I usually try to make sure it's a good fold, right? And then you are going to line it up with that score. And then you're going to adhere here, and you're going to adhere here, and it will be part of your book. See how it'll attach, and then it'll pop up. And then if you want a second shelf or a second row of things to adhere to, pick another. I just have a scrap here. It's kind of small. Maybe I'll do a little bit bigger one. And we're going to cut it we can cut it. This one was 7. Let's cut this one to 7.5 or something like that. A little bigger, okay? 7.5. And I'll make it, I'm going to make this one like 1 3/4. I don't have 2 shelves. Sorry, I'm cleaning up my scrap as I go here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to score it in half and make a couple of little flaps, okay? So half, this, what did I say this was? 7.5. So 3 3/4 score. And then I'm going to do that 1/2 inch thing on each end. And so you can kind of see it. Got a score here, and a score in the middle. And remember that middle score needs to be able to go back and forth. We're done scoring. I'm done with that. And then this will pop back, and this will pop back. And then for our card, we'll bring it back, and we will put this one on here. I usually do this one, the bigger one, big enough to easily go over the other shelf. But basically, you get the idea. Once these are adhered, you have a couple of shelves popping up. And then you have levels where you can tuck in images and do fun things, right? So that's that. All right, let's look at the card that I have here. So in each valley, in each low point, I made a pop-up. Now, I'm not saying that the person who gets this card will know they need to pop these up. I'll probably have to leave a little note. Pop up here. And then this will sit on a table and it'll look really cool. But I need something to decorate these cool things. And so that's where the Lawn Fawn set comes in, because my thought is I want a Santa sleigh here, and then all the reindeer, and then at the very end panel I think I'll have a little Mrs. Claus and cookies, you know, and my message. Anyway, so now I'm to the point where I just need to color my images. I did not get that far, did not get far enough. So I know it's boring to watch someone color, but that's what I'm gonna do. I grabbed my red and for Santa, and I grabbed some browns for my reindeer, some skin color, a little cheek color, and then I grabbed this gold color and some aqua blue for accent. And then I was thinking, I probably need a green. And the problem is my green is this weird green. It's not like Kelly green, you know? So I have to get out my little chart. And interesting, jade green seems to be a pretty close match for this green that I have. Jade green 4 and 5. Maybe that's what I'll use for my, you know, jade green is not one that I use all that often. It's got a little blue tone to it, you know. The other thing I could do is I could get out my, so you can see there's a jade green 4 and a jade green 5 and 7. So anyway, I'm going to color my sleigh. And since Santa's red, I'm going to make my sleigh green. It's a little non-traditional. My whole card is a little non-traditional. So I'm coloring in circles. Alcohol markers do better if you do some overlap, and if you color in circles, that really helps. And then a little of the darker color as my shading. And I'm not going to be too careful. I got to be honest, the person I'm giving this card to may very well throw it away, okay? May very well throw it away after Christmas. So it's a lot of work for somebody who may toss it, but that's okay. It's not like, that's too bright. Oh, that's pink, that's why. I was like, ooh, that's bright. Okay, let's do a little skin color. And then I will use the, I think I'll go ahead and do Mrs. Claus at the same time. Do her face. And then I can do her hands because she's not going to be wearing mittens. And then I am going to get out that pink again, and I am going to do some pink cheeks, maybe a little darker even. Okay. And I think, yeah, I think that's pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and color Santa red. So, cookies, normally I just bake on my own. Honestly, I'm pretty fast. I'm pretty efficient. And I can usually get them done pretty quick. But since I am not in the mood and I need to keep myself from eating all that food, I've lost over almost 60 pounds. I really don't want to blow it by, munching on Christmas cookies like without intention. It's one thing to do it on the holiday or for a special occasion, but just having them sit around and pig out, I don't want to do that. So I know everybody's like, you only live once, you should just do it. And I don't know. I feel like I've been living and pigging out my whole life. And so I need to chill out now a little bit for my health. It's better for me. So today I talked Steve into helping me. Now we've been together 40 years, no lie, and we have never made cookies together. So I anticipate problems with that. I don't know how that's gonna go, because he and I do not work the same way. Now, we've cooked a lot, obviously, over the years. I taught him how to make a lot of different things, and he's really good. He's now to the point where he'll shoo me out of the kitchen while he makes dinner. He loves it. He loves to cook. And even when I want to be in the middle, of things, he's like, nope, I got it. Because we're in each other's way since we work so differently from each other. And so, yeah, it's different. But anyway, I'll give him some green gloves, and I'll give her some green accent there. I think I'm gonna leave her her little skirt white, or her apron white, and then with the blue I'm gonna do her glasses. Oh, that's cute. And I probably will do some gray in her hair, but she's more or less done. All right, and then her little tray of cookies. I have some gold brown, just like that. And I think I'm gonna make her little tray, maybe I'll make it pink or something, just something different. There's her cookies. Okay, now I'm ready for kind of the boring-ish part, which is all the reindeer. And remember, I gotta set one reindeer aside for Rudolph to do something special. I also have a Santa bag and a little present. So I got out the earth brown blends and shades. I don't know what color I'm gonna use or what I'm gonna like. I tend to like their faces, the lightest color. And so and I'm gonna make those, I should leave those dots white, honestly. Maybe I should. So I kind of want the reindeer to be sort of a dark brown, because I want them to stand out against that dark, that paper that I have is pretty bold. And so there. Let's see how that'll look. Cute. I think that'll look cute. I could even go a little lighter on the face. So That's my lightest brown I have out. Let me grab another. Maybe tan. So, all right. Now I can assembly line. Now that I have kind of a color scheme going. And on this belly. And then I made a bunch of extra reindeer so that if I colored one and didn't like it, I could use a different one. And then you might be wondering why I'm coloring over those the little dots that are normally white. And what I'm thinking is I'll use my white gel pen because it's work to color these. It's, it's relaxing. It's something to do when you have time, but it is a little bit of work to color these and get them the way you want them to look. I still think his face is not dark enough now. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just going to make it like the first one. I like the first one a lot. All the reindeer don't have to look identical, but, So, I don't know if you guys watch Jen Shirkus. Thank you for being proud of me and my weight loss. I tell you what, about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I lost 80 pounds on Weight Watchers, and I was so proud of myself. And I did it for a long time. I did Weight Watchers for a couple of years, and I just got sick of measuring and weighing and tracking everything that I ate. And I kind of got to the point where I was eating the exact same food all the time because I knew the points in my head. I knew how to measure it. I knew how to track it. I stopped tracking because I ate the same food constantly and I knew I was within my points. So the only time I ever pulled out any kind of tracking was when I ate something unusual or different, and I just kept eating the same foods over and over. So I quit Weight Watchers, and I put on over 15 years. I put on about 30 pounds of it. So I went slowly creeped back up because, when you're not keeping track of everything you eat, you do eat all the cookies and all the cakes and all the garbage and all the whatever. And it's hard. So, when I hit that mark where I was like, all right, I'm in the danger zone again. I need to lose that weight and feel healthier. I was getting to the point where I'm like, first of all, I quit working, and not working, I'm like, well, I'm totally, the only thing that I have to do as a job is take care of myself and keep my health good. So why am I sabotaging myself and pigging out all the time? So yeah, I'm pretty dedicated to it. And you know what feels really different this time than the last time I lost weight was that it feels permanent. I'm just like, I'm a lot happier eating the way we're eating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, I was counting my reindeer. I don't want to color more than I have to. I don't mind coloring once in a while, but obviously I get sloppier and sloppier as I go because, you know, there's other things, other fun things to do. I want them to look good, but sheesh, I don't want to color all day. Anyway, what I was saying was Jen Shirkus, for those of you who are into coloring, especially Lawn Fawn, she is amazing. She does tons of coloring on her YouTube page where she shows you how she colors these images. She does not color them like I do, and her little images are so cute. Very shaded. Now she does take a little more time than I do to shade, but she makes it look so easy, and it's so fun to watch. So she's one of those people who every now and then I'll look at her page because I like to see what she's working with. I noticed a lot of the people who are kind of notorious for coloring, like the famous coloring people, are starting to switch to those OLO markers that I showed you. They're alcohol markers, but they don't run out like Copics, and you don't have to have like 1,000 colors like Copics. And these tri-blends to me are still the winner. I've used the OLO and I like them a lot, but I refill these. You know, the colors I use the most do run out. They do get dry, and I have refills for them. So if you ever want them refilled, you could send them to me. I'll refill what I've got, or message me. It'd be cheaper than buying all the refills. So, just saying. Okay. I am going to take my little white pen and I'm going to put the white dots back. The little bit of white under the tail and the dots. And you can see why I colored over it, because honestly, it's so much faster to do that. And to do this little gel pen, I love doing gel pen work on as accents on these images. They're so cute. There's that. I did that one backwards. That was dumb. This one too. I did the top of the tail white and the bottom of the tail brown. And I think it's the bottom. Such is life. Okay, so those reindeers will look a little different. Okay, now I'm going to take my darkest brown and I'm just going to real quick do their hooves and their antlers. I don't want to do them black because, you know, they are brown. And then I think I'm going to make all their noses brown except for Rudolph. So I'm going to set one aside. Here's one where I forgot the ear. It's easy to forget the ear because it doesn't look like part of the reindeer, but it is. There. There's that little guy. So obviously I'm getting close to that hour mark now. I could make this card really fast. I can make it in about an hour and a half, which is fast for a card that's so elaborate. But sitting here watching me make it, an hour is a long time. So I understand if you don't want to stay and watch me color, but oh, there's another ear. I'm gonna just color it dark brown. But just imagine getting this card in the mail or from somebody close. If you know somebody who is, dang it, there's another ear. All right, I obviously had problems with the ears. Did I forget this one? Yes. This one? Yes. Weird. Okay. Anyway, because this card stands up like on a shelf, it's perfect for people who have, you know, who are home alone, have mantles, want to display. It's like a decoration, and it's a reminder that someone really cares. And so, you know, I display all my holiday cards, but if you have a special card, that you know, like if you have an elderly parent or, oh, that nose has got to be red. I may even get out my, like stickles or something and make that really red, right? But for now, I'm gonna make his nose red like that. Okay, and then I have a little present, which I think I'm gonna make blue. I kind of want it to stand out a little bit. And then we have the Santa sack. So I'm gonna get out that tan blend again, and I'm gonna do the dark color first on this one. And I'm just gonna kind of flick that down, and then I'm gonna go to a lighter color and kind of blend it. Like that. And then I'll go to the middle color. Yeah, there. It's not perfect. It works fine though. Okay. I have all my little pieces. Oh, you know what I don't have? I don't have my reindeer things. So here's my thought. And that what this is supposed to be is like a little piece that connects all the reindeer together. But I think on my card, they won't be that close together. So I'm not sure yet how I'm going to connect my reindeer. Not sure, but I know Rudolph has to be last. And for my sleigh, I think I'm going to put blue, and then I definitely want gold for, let me just arrange these a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know the name of all the reindeer? Do you have to go through the song? It's hard. I did a trivia thing one night, and I had to kind of go through the song in my head. It was like, Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid, Donner and Blitzen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On Comet and Cupid, do I have one too many reindeer? Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. See, I don't know. Do I have too many? How many reindeer does... I thought he had 8 reindeer. 8 tiny reindeer. Yeah, plus Rudolph. Jeesh. I obviously don't know their names. Yikes. All right, so when you are going to put this together, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Wrong way. Just so you can see on my table a little better. But basically what you do is you tuck things in. So like if I have more trees to tuck, I can put those behind and front. I definitely know I want Santa here, and he's going to be in the sleigh, right? So let me get out my dot of glue. And I'll put him in the sleigh like that. And then I want his bag in the sleigh, right? So I'm gonna attach that in there. And then I had that little present that I thought it would be cute to have a little present popping up in there, just like that. So there's Santa. And I have some dots. I'm gonna dot him for sure. Pop him up a little bit. Most of these, you know, this card is already so darn fat. It's a fat card. So it's gonna be tricky to, like, I would have to mail this in a bubble mailer. I did mail my aunt one of those nativity style cards, and I put it in a bubble mailer. Isn't that cute? And I just think, you know, it was worth it. It was so worth it. All right, so I'm gonna put a reindeer up high and a reindeer down low. And the problem, of course, is this little guy. Because it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to use thread or something to connect all my reindeer together. Ugh, what a pain. But I'm gonna have to do it. Let me get my, oh, look what I found. I found it. Okay, here is that paper that I'm using. It's called Oh Joyful Day, and it's Rosie's Studio. And I think this Rosie's Studio might have been from scrapbooks.com or something. I didn't buy it specifically. This is what my cord is looking like. This cord is some magic, you guys. Magic. Love it. All right. Let's see. My problem, though, is now that I've botched it up so bad, it's just a big knot. And so I'm constantly cutting a new start because I'm not patient enough to untangle. This was not my... I did this in a hurry. I get in a hurry, as you know. All right, let's see. What I want is 2 big, kind of longer pieces that will go like across my entire card. So here's one, right? And then it's probably way too long, but that's okay. And then here's 2. And then, okay, just to make this as complicated as I possibly can, I probably should use a glue dot, you know, to tuck this under his hands. I'm gonna make a knot. Put these 2 together. I told you I'm probably doing this the most complicated way possible, but don't use paper scissors on a fiber. It doesn't work. All right. I'm gonna grab a couple of little glue dots. My glue dots are really tiny, so I need to grab multiples. And I'm gonna tuck it onto that knot. And then put that knot underneath his hands. There. Ta-da! I just dropped something on the floor. I have no idea what. Good job. Okay. And now I have the reins. And the reins will go across the whole card and probably be probably not work all that great. I don't know. I'm going to put a dot on each reindeer. And I'm going to put this reindeer up here onto the gold thread, okay? Do I need to put it around his neck? Will it look weird if I do? Oh, that's kind of good. I'm gonna do that. All right, and then the next reindeer. We'll go here. So there's the beginning. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I feel like I always have to make things complicated. Now remember, the thing I have to remember is that these cards have to be able to fold and pop and move. You know what I mean? Like I need enough slack in the reins so that they will move the way I want them to. I'm going to put another reindeer here. I'll put another reindeer here. The main thing, whatever you put on your pop-ups, you know what I should put around the city? I should put a city, like a few of those houses, as the backdrop. Boy, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? So I want to leave a little slack. I'm going to wrap this around the reindeer's head. It looks like I'm hanging him, but that's okay. He'll be fine. Like that. I'm going to run out of thread. Wrapping it around their necks is probably, I needed a longer piece, so I should just put it under. I'll do that. So I have enough thread. Oh, that's going to be so cute with the reindeer going across. Look. Cute, right? I did make it a little bit longer than I needed to, I suppose. I could shorten it a little. Not that short. Boom. Okay, there's that. There's that. Let's get these reindeer on here. Call this done. Steve, I just heard Steve outside. So, reindeer. And then the last reindeer will be Rudolph, which will be, I'll have to be careful with him, where I put him. Technically, Rudolph wouldn't need, I mean, he's guiding the sleigh. I wouldn't have to have enough gold to have Rudolph, I suppose. And I'm not gonna, unless I do something tie more on or something. So, how many reindeer do I have on here? I'm short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'll put Rudolph at the end, like he's guiding the whole thing. And make sure it doesn't, you know, get pinched in that crease. And then I have 2 more reindeer that I need to fit in here. And I think one will need to be here. And then one be here. One thing I could do to really pull this together is I could color the little Jingle Bell harnesses and just cut it off right there, and then they'll all be wearing a harness, and I'll probably do that off camera. And show you the finale card in a reel or something. Look at how cool. And this, and I think the trees need, a star at the top or something. But look at how cool. That would be a good use for that extra gold. I could make stars. And then, oh my gosh, I love this so much. You guys, this is such a great card. And then at the very end, I'm going to put Mrs. Claus and her cookies. She's cute. Those cookies are sweet. And then I have a couple of little messages. I want the cookies in her hand. Like that. Isn't that great? And then I have Happy Ho 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 Holidays. Happy Ho Ho Holidays. And I also have May Your Holidays Be Filled with Magic. And so I could use both. I mean, there's no reason I can't use both. But these are sweet. So I might back that in red just so you can see it more. Happy Ho Ho Holidays. And may your holidays be filled with magic. I may put that, you know, over on this side. All right, there's my project. What do you think? Good? Bad? It needs some bling. And I'm going to do something to Rudolph. Yeah, this card, Stephanie, I was winging it, and, you know, but I do think it looks cool. Look at the reins, how they're kind of loose. Oh my God, I love this so much. Okay. It'll be a surprise who gets this. Hey, you know what I should do? If you guys leave a comment, I should draw names and send this card to, you know, whoever comments on this video. Because obviously I'm going to have some things to mail this week. And this card is cool, you guys. I'm going to make 2 of them. I have enough to make 2, so I'll give 1 away, and 1 of them will be for my in-laws. So let me know what you think, and you know, will you make a card? Make it on a smaller version. Make just a small card, a front back with 1 pop-up. That's all you need to do. Make one small thing. But, you know, you don't have to be all crazy like me. But I love it. I love it. So, all right. Have a good weekend, and be thinking about me baking, because give me strength. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.